about these heists? We Ocean's 11 or The Sopranos.
A teenage girl boss builds an Iron Man suit, then complains Tony Stark had a 300-year head start thanks to white privilege, while she laments to her best friend who's been resurrected as an AI. A street-level villain named the Hood tries to undress the hoodie. It's Ironheart, starring Dominique Thorne and Anthony Ramos, and it's another one of those pathetically woke shows we'll be reviewing this week on Siskel and Ebert. Hello again, I'm Gene Siskel of the Chicago Tribune.
And I'm Roger Ebert of the Chicago Sun-Times. This week's feature is Marvel's Ironheart, streaming now on Disney+, and it's the kind of series that Hollywood won't seem to stop making despite losing billions of dollars. It's fast-paced and visually striking, but heavily themed around preachy moralizing and identity politics. Dominique Thorne plays Riri Williams, an MIT student who, despite having won the Tony Stark Fellowship Award, gets expelled and ends up working for a street gang that specializes in breaking and entering. The audience is then asked to believe that Riri is so systemically oppressed as a minority that no other doors would possibly be open to her despite her incredible accomplishments at such an early age. The story immediately starts with voiceover that tells the audience the character's motivations and problems, rather than allowing the audience to discover it for themselves. It makes her seem selfish and unlikable. And Gene, it only gets worse from there.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. Another woke superhero movie highlighting the character's innate superiority over all the legacy characters. I mean, we're not 5 minutes in before she's throwing shade at Tony Stark, the man who gave her the fellowship, implying he's only successful because of his inherited wealth. And it really leaves you wondering how the writers managed to forget that Tony Stark built the first suit in a cave while being held captive by terrorists. I'll keep saying it till I'm blue in the face. Why, oh why, do today's writers have to be so lazy that they can't even bother to fact-check their own research material?
It's for the same reason why there's no character that's explored beyond the level of their surface ambitions. Everyone randomly shows up to hand-feed information to the audience so that you wind up with two characters telling each other things they already know, just so we have information for something important later.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because virtually all of the characters either exist as an exposition dump or an instrument for Riri's inner voice. There's one particular scene, Roger, I swear it almost had me picking up the phone and calling Dr. Jack Kevorkian himself. And it's the one where Riri walks into a used parts shop and immediately the store clerk starts mentioning her dead best friend for no reason other than its relevance later in the picture. Then in that same scene, one of the villains waltzes in and just starts listing off Riri's accomplishments like a resume posted fresh off Indeed.
And for a movie claiming to have a moral core, isn't it strange how often the characters seem to be justifying their own bad behavior? Riri wants a big lab so she can steal equipment. The mother is bribing janitors. Who bribes janitors? The bad guys are so casual about crime that they begin arguing about code names in the middle of a robbery while bumbling through a heist with the kind of mistakes that would get anyone 5 years at Joliet. None of it matters because there's no stakes for anyone involved. Even when Riri acts like she's got something to lose, she makes the inexplicable decision to meet with a crime boss who lives 2 floors up from a damn pizzeria.
Probably not even deep dish, but yeah, that's where the movie goes back to using its characters as an instrument for Riri's inner voice. When the crime boss tells her you're fed up with mediocre folks taking your spot, it's the writers coding woke language, and we all know who they're pointing at.
We do, and it's ironic, Gene, because this constant trope of underserved communities only caring about money and power is actually insulting to the very audience it's pandering, which is a real shame, because underneath all the activist posturing, there's a compelling idea about having to give up something you hold dear to get something you want.
Yeah, instead we got a story so woke I imagine it had you reaching for the chocolate cream pie.
What's wrong with chocolate cream pie?
Nothing. I'm just saying these woke movies make you do a lot of emotional eating.
Maybe I just like chocolate cream pie.
I know you like chocolate cream pie.
Well, I also like custard pie.
I know you like custard pie.
Not just those 2 pies, key lime pie, apple pie, pecan pie, cherry pie, blueberry pie, sweet potato pie, rhubarb pie. I'll tell you what, if I had a couple of pies and ran into these people, I'd throw it right in their faces for making this trash.
They'll have to be 0-calorie pies.
Listen, my wife is a black woman. You think she sat through The Godfather and asked why Vito Corleone from Sicily isn't Vishanti Carter from Compton? What directed energy weapon were these people being threatened with to think audiences all over the world are demanding a motion picture checklist?
Nobody from here to Timbuktu. Anyway, that's it for this week. Next week, we'll be back with a review of The Marvels, starring Brie Larson as a space warrior whose emotional range is still a budget line item. Until then, the balcony is closed.
Promotional considerations were paid for by the following. The Gen Z IOU app. Can't pay the rent? No problem. Just download the Gen Z IOU app and enjoy deferred payment with half the accruing interest, minus hidden tax and subscription fees. The Gen Z IOU app. Perfect for a doomed generation. The Siskel Hair Replacement Foundation. A receding hairline is nothing to brush off when you're getting ranked last in the dating algorithm. With the Siskel Hair Replacement Foundation, you'll start getting invites from seriously beautiful women to visit their OnlyFans paywall in no time. Social justice aerosol. Not all dangerous animals live in the woods. They're also in cars throwing oat milk matcha lattes at your Tesla while wearing shirts that read, "Not today, colonizer." With social justice aerosol, you'll have that beast turned around and heading back to their eco-friendly green home in no time.